Right, you're gonna want to miss this. Jose Mourinho to Ibrox, Vaclav Cerny sold for instant cash, Moussa Djenepo on the radar, and 2 exits on the cards. It's all kicking off behind the scenes at Rangers, and what's coming could change everything. Jose Mourinho at Ibrox. Imagine that, you. One of the most decorated managers in football history, prowling the touchline in Govan, snarling at referees and sending Celtic into a tailspin. It sounds like fantasy, but Derek Ferguson's no daft, and he reckons if Barry's not handed the job full-time, then Rangers should throw everything and the kitchen sink to bring Mourinho in. Now, let's be clear, Barry Ferguson's run as interim boss has been a proper mixed bag. 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 defeats. Symmetrical, but not sensational. There was the high of beating Fenerbahce and that gritty win at the Midden across the city. But let's be honest, consistency's gone missing like a Celtic fan in Seville. With the 49ers circling like sharks in a boardroom, it's no surprise the Mourinho chatter has picked up. And it's not just idle gossip. Richard Keys spilled the beans that Mourinho actually turned down Leeds United, no wanting a relegation scrap apparently. Fair enough, but if he's saying no to Ellen Road, could Ibrox tempt him with a proper challenge and a club that lives and breathes silverware expectations? Mourinho's got that buyout clause at Fenerbahce, and it's rumored to be massive. We're talking mega money territory. But as Derek Ferguson put it, if you want the best, you've got to pay for the best. And with the 49ers looking to make a statement as part of their takeover, what louder message is there to send Celtic than landing the special one? Of course, the usual names are still getting tossed around, Steven Gerrard, Russell Martin, but come on. You've seen what Mourinho's done at Porto, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, even Roma. The man wins, and more than that, he rattles the opposition like few others. Just picture him outfoxing Brendan Rodgers in an old firm. The drama, the theatre, pure box office. And here's the kicker. If Mourinho turned down Leeds because he didn't fancy a relegation fight, could he be convinced to take on a title fight instead? Would you be willing to see Rangers break the bank to bring in Jose Mourinho, even if it meant waving goodbye to Barry Ferguson's Rangers dream? Rangers are plotting a move for Moussa Djenepo, and on the surface, it looks like a smart bit of business. An experienced international, 33 caps for Mali, a Premier League stint with Southampton under his belt, and reportedly available for just under £2 million, the kind of fee that barely rattles the wallet, especially with the 49ers takeover looming. But here's where things get sticky. Djenepo, at 26, is no kid with untapped potential. He's a known quantity now. 22 appearances in Turkey's Super League this season, just 2 goals and a single assist. That's not exactly lighting up the stats sheet. In fact, it's the kind of return that would make you think twice if you were running a championship side, never mind a club trying to claw its way back to the top of Scottish football. There's also the lingering uncertainty over who's actually going to be in the Ibrox dugout come August. Barry Ferguson, unlikely. The Mourinho dream, still up in the air, and yet here we are once again talking about a potential bargain signing before the manager's even confirmed. That's how mistakes happen, repeating old patterns, buying before building the blueprint. Let's not kid ourselves. You saw the gap in the table. Celtic sitting miles ahead, and we're fighting with inconsistency like a boxer swinging at shadows. If this squad's going to challenge for real, it can't just be filled with players who've maybe got one more good season in them. It needs winners, game changers, characters who can put fear in defenders, not ones struggling to score in Turkey. Djenepo might well bring energy, he might offer depth, but should Rangers really be in the market for might when the 49ers are meant to usher in a new era? Would signing Moussa Djenepo for under £2 million be ambition, or just another cheap punt that shows Rangers are still shopping in the bargain bin, while Celtic splash the cash? Looks like Kieran Dowell and Ben Davies are packing their bags, and let's be honest, you're not shedding a tear, are you? Both players have been down at Birmingham City, grafting away in League One, and fair play to them. They've played their part in a promotion-winning campaign. Dowell chipped in with goals and assists. Davies stayed solid across 44 appearances. But here's the thing, doing well at Birmingham is one thing. Leading Rangers to titles and European nights at Ibrox is a completely different animal. Let's not rewrite history either. Their time in Glasgow was, at best, forgettable. Dowell showed flashes, but never really clicked. Davies, solid in spells, but hardly the colossus you need at the back when facing Celtic or trying to grind out a result in Europe. These weren't players grabbing games by the scruff. They were passengers more often than not. Now, Birmingham want them back permanently, and it sounds like Rangers won't stand in their way. That's the right move. There's a massive rebuild coming this summer with the 49ers and Andrew Kavanagh getting their feet under the table. This isn't the time to hang on to players who've already had their chance and failed to leave a mark. If the Americans are serious about stopping Celtic's dominance, there's no room for sentiment. You need quality, hunger, and players with the character to handle the weight of the badge. Selling Dowell and Davies gives you some room to breathe financially and, more importantly, frees up space for fresh blood. Players who can turn draws into wins and failures into silverware. Should Rangers be flogging underperformers like Dowell and Davies? Or is the real issue deeper, with too many mediocre signings dragging the club down season after season? Vaclav Cerny, what a revelation he's been this season. 11 goals in the league, 6 in Europe, and a work ethic that's had the Ibrox faithful off their seats more than a few times. And yet here we are, still faffing about with his future while Celtic waltz towards another title. Rangers have a buy option on the table, £5.5 million. It's not pennies right enough, but in today's market, for a player hitting double figures domestically and scoring in Europe, that's daylight robbery. If this was happening across the city, you know they'd already have him paraded in a green and grey scarf, with Rodgers banging on about long-term projects. But Rangers still stuck in limbo waiting for a takeover to finalise, for Kevin Thelwell to get his feet under the desk, and for someone to finally show a bit of ambition. Michael Stewart, even he sees it, reckons you could trigger the clause and sell Cerny on immediately for a profit, and he's probably right. But this shouldn't be about flipping players like we're running a stall at Barras Market. This should be about building a squad to win. Cerny's a proven threat, settled, trusted by the support, and exactly the type of player you build a front three around. If the 49ers want to send a message, here's their chance. Keep your top scorer. Show you're serious. Stop pretending you're one signing away from competing and actually start acting like a club that expects to win. But if Rangers let him go after the season he's had and try to replace that output on the cheap again, what does that say about where we're really headed? If Rangers refuse to trigger the buy option for Vaclav Cerny after the season he's just delivered, are we actually serious about closing the gap on Celtic, or are we just pretending to be a big club while acting like a feeder side? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. To help me out, I post videos every day talking about our Rangers. So if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.